Hello everyone. Today's video is about Dasha, everyone's beloved queen. I will explain how to set up teams for her and also the timings of skills. Without further ado, let's get started. To survive the attacks here, everyone should have 20k HP, 6k magic defense, and also 250 of every element defense. Tank needs 10k defense and 500 element defense, in addition to what everyone else needs. Also, healer will need about 4,000 resilience. DPS needs at least 100k attack, 2m damage limit, and make sure that the damage factor is positive. If you don't have any broken gacha earrings, then you should at least have a dash rune. Damage factor rune or strike earring will also make things easier. Main thing is, you must be able to destroy crystal in 1 or 2 hits. Party setup here is same as usual. A Divine Knight or Initiator tank, Shaman and Mage for debuffing, and Saint for healing. If tank is Initiator, then we can bring a Bard or another DPS. This will make runs faster, but also more risky. Yome can also replace Initiator role. This will be quite risky, but if party is fast enough, then there won't be any problem. Receptor can also replace tank or Mage if someone needs the skill. As for skills, Saint must have the calm skill unless the tank has high defense, and Initiator or Yome must have the maintenance skill. Other than these 2 skills, skill decks are same as usual. For more info on skills, I suggest checking my guide on supports. Before moving on, let me give you some general info about Dasha. First of all, this boss has 4 phases, and pattern is different for each phase. Second, this boss has no element weakness. In second phase, she does get an element, but it keeps changing, and it's only for this phase. Aside from that, she also has 75% damage reduction all the time. This is why DPS requirements are high here. If the DPS is very fast, for example a party of super users, then you can leech here even with low survival stats. Let's move to the pattern now. In first phase, she has 4 skills, and we only need to pay attention to 2 of them. When she throws her rod at the tank, that's when we need to quickly use debuffs. A warning will also pop up here. That rod is easy to miss, but someone must be blind to miss this big red warning. This AoE skill is neutral and magic type. Right after the first AoE, second warning will show up. This time only Saint can reduce the damage because this AoE has fixed damage. Saint should also heal the party 1 time before doing the debuff. Second phase begins when she flies up and use that blue aura. An element will also appear in her status bar. This phase has 4 parts, and in each part, she uses different element and debuffs, but the pattern remains same. First is her single target skill. This causes different debuffs on the tank depending on element. And after this skill, we see warning for her AoE skill. That's when we must debuff. This skill debuffs the whole party, and these debuffs can be quite deadly. Important thing in this phase is to cleanse at the right time. Otherwise, things can get messy. Initiator can either cleanse during the AoE, or at the start of Dasha's 3rd element skill, which also causes debuffs on tank. Also, in the wind part, tank must not move after the aggro debuff, otherwise the aggro will reset. Third phase starts with a dialogue. In this phase, the important things are the crystal and debuff on the tank. If there is a mage in party, and the tank has high defense, then we don't need to care about the debuff. Otherwise, we must shift the aggro away from tank. First, Dasha moves next to tank, and she puts a defense debuff which is not removable. Next, she summons a crystal and prepares for AoE of random element. Debuff the AoE, and also cleanse debuffs during the AoE. Also, Saint should use calm right after debuffing to shift the aggro. If things are done right, then everyone should be safe from AoE, and aggro should be away from tank. Otherwise, someone can die like the tank here. Crystal must be destroyed during the AoE, or else, Dasha will use an additional AoE. This is the same second AoE from phase 1, the one with fixed damage. One more thing, if the crystal is missed 3 times, then at the start of next phase, she will become immune to everything, and there is no way of getting out of that. Just accept your fate and kiss the floor. Last phase starts around 100 million HP, and either Shaman or Mage should use Dark Fog right after the phase starts just in case tank might still have the debuff from Phase 3. She starts with the same debuff from before, but this time, Saint must use Calm during this skill, because the next skill is also single target. This skill becomes stronger after each cycle, but this phase does not last that long nowadays. Next, she uses the same skills from Phase 2, debuff the AoE, and do the cleanse. This time, Saint should not use debuff for the AoE. There are 2 more skills after this. One of them is a multi-hit AoE, which will have a warning as well. I couldn't get any footage of this, because all of my battles ended before reaching that point. Anyway, this much info is enough for clearing Dasha. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments or contact me at the Discord. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you next time.